Wars of the Diadochi, 322 to 281 BC. The Wars of the Diadochi were fought between the generals of Alexander the Great after his death. The cause was the struggle for control over his vast empire. The main parties involved were Alexander's generals, such as Ptolemy, Seleucus, and Antigonus. The wars ended with the division of the empire into several Hellenistic kingdoms. Punic Wars, 264 to 146 BC. The Punic Wars were a series of conflicts between Rome and Carthage. They were caused by competition for dominance over the Mediterranean region. The main parties were the Roman Republic and the Carthaginian Empire. Rome emerged victorious, leading to the destruction of Carthage and Roman control over the western Mediterranean. Roman-Persian Wars, 92 BC to 629 AD. The Roman-Persian Wars were long-running conflicts between the Roman and Persian empires. The cause was the struggle for control over territories in the Middle East. The main parties were the Roman Empire and successive Persian empires, including the Parthians and Sassanids. These wars ended inconclusively, but they drained both empires' resources. Gallic Wars, 58 to 50 BC. The Gallic Wars were led by Julius Caesar against several Gallic tribes. The cause was Rome's desire to expand its territory. The main parties were the Roman Republic and various Gallic tribes. Caesar's victories resulted in the Roman annexation of Gaul, modern-day France. Han-Shang New War, 133 BC to 89 AD. The Han-Shang New War was fought between the Chinese Han Dynasty and the nomadic Xiongnu Confederation. The cause was the Xiongnu's raids into Han territory. The main parties were the Han Dynasty and the Xiongnu. The war ended with the defeat of the Xiongnu, securing China's northern borders. Three Kingdoms War, 184 to 280 AD. The Three Kingdoms War was a period of civil war and fragmentation in China. The cause was the decline of the Han Dynasty and the struggle for power among warlords. The main parties were the states of Wei, Shu, and Wu. The war concluded with the unification of China under the Jin Dynasty. Byzantine Sasanian Wars, 502 to 628 AD. The Byzantine Sasanian Wars were fought between the Byzantine Empire and the Sasanian Persian Empire. The cause was the struggle for dominance over the Middle East and nearby regions. The main parties involved were the Byzantine and Sasanian empires. The wars weakened both empires, making them vulnerable to the emerging Islamic Caliphate. Viking raids and expansion, 793 to 1066. The Viking raids and expansion were a series of invasions and settlements by Norse seafarers. The cause was a combination of seeking wealth, new lands, and trading opportunities. The main parties were the Viking raiders and the various European kingdoms they targeted. The Viking Age ended with the Norman conquest of England in 1066. Mongol Invasions, 1206 to 1368. The Mongol invasions were large-scale military campaigns led by the Mongol Empire. The cause was the Mongol desire to expand their empire across Eurasia. The main parties were the Mongol Empire and various kingdoms and empires, including China, Persia, and Eastern Europe. The invasions resulted in the vast expansion of the Mongol Empire and significant cultural and demographic impacts. 100 Years' War, 1337 to 1453. The 100 Years' War was a series of conflicts between the Kingdom of England and the Kingdom of France. The cause was the dispute over rightful succession to the French throne. The main parties were the English and French kingdoms. The war ended with French victory, solidifying the Valois dynasty's control over France and ending English territorial claims in France. Ottoman-Hungarian Wars, 1366 to 1526. The Ottoman-Hungarian Wars were fought between the Ottoman Empire and the Kingdom of Hungary. The cause was the Ottoman expansion into Europe and control over the Balkans. The main parties were the Ottoman Empire and the Kingdom of Hungary. The wars culminated in the Battle of Mohacs in 1526, leading to the disintegration of Hungary and its partitioning. 13 Years' War, 1618 to 1648. The 30 Years' War was a series of conflicts primarily within the Holy Roman Empire. The cause was religious tensions between Protestant and Catholic states, alongside political and territorial ambitions. The main parties included various German principalities and major powers like Spain, France, Sweden, and the Habsburg Empire. The war ended with the Peace of Westphalia, which reshaped the political and religious map of Europe. English Civil War 1642 to 1651. The English Civil War was a conflict between parliamentarians and royalists in England. The cause was a struggle over governance, including issues of authority and religion between King Charles I and Parliament. The main parties were the supporters of King Charles I, royalists, and the supporters of Parliament, parliamentarians. The war ended with the execution of Charles I and the establishment of the Commonwealth under Oliver Cromwell. Franco Dutch War, 1672 to 1678. The Franco Dutch War was fought between France and an alliance of the Dutch Republic, Spain, and the Holy Roman Empire. The cause was Louis XIV of France's ambition to expand his territory and weaken the Dutch Republic. The main parties were France and the Dutch-led coalition. The war concluded with the Treaty of Nijmegen, where France gained some territories but failed to decisively defeat the Dutch. Napoleonic Wars, 1803 to 1815. The Napoleonic Wars were a series of conflicts involving Napoleon's French Empire against various European coalitions. The cause was Napoleon's ambition to dominate Europe. The main parties were France and its allies against various coalitions of European powers, including Britain, Russia, Austria, and Prussia. The wars ended with Napoleon's defeat at the Battle of Waterloo and the Congress of Vienna restoring European stability. War of 1812, 1812 to 1815. The War of 1812 was fought between the United States and Great Britain. The cause was maritime disputes, British support for Native American attacks on American settlers, and American territorial ambitions. The main parties were the United States and the British Empire. The war ended with the Treaty of Ghent, restoring pre-war boundaries but resolving few of the underlying issues. Latin American Wars of Independence, 1810 to 1825. The Latin American Wars of Independence were a series of revolutions against Spanish and Portuguese colonial rule. The cause was the desire for independence and self-governance, inspired by Enlightenment ideas and other revolutions. The main parties were the colonial powers, Spain and Portugal, and various independent movements across Latin America. The wars resulted in the independence of numerous Latin American countries. Crimean War, 1853 to 1856. The Crimean War was fought between Russia and an alliance of the Ottoman Empire, France, Britain, and Sardinia. The cause was disputes over religious rights in the Holy Land and Russian expansionism. The main parties were Russia against the Ottoman Empire, France, Britain, and Sardinia. The war ended with the Treaty of Paris, restricting Russian influence in the Black Sea region. American Civil War, 1861 to 1865. The American Civil War was a conflict between the Northern States, Union, and the Southern States, Confederacy. The cause was deep-seated divisions over slavery, states' rights, and economic differences. The main parties were the Union, North, and the Confederacy, South. The war ended with the Union's victory, leading to the abolition of slavery and the preservation of the United States. Franco Prussian War, 1870 to 1871. The Franco Prussian War was fought between the French Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia. The cause was tensions over Prussian ambitions to unify Germany and disputes over the Spanish throne. The main parties were France and Prussia, along with other German states. The war ended with a decisive Prussian victory, leading to the unification of Germany and the fall of the French Empire. Russian Civil War, 1917 to 1922. The Russian Civil War was fought between the Red Army, Bolsheviks, and the White Army, anti-Bolshevik forces. The cause was the struggle for control after the Russian Revolution of 1917. The main parties were the Bolshevik Red Army and various anti-Bolshevik groups, including monarchists, conservatives, and foreign interventionists. The war ended with a Bolshevik victory, leading to the establishment of the Soviet Union. Spanish Civil War, 1936 to 1939. The Spanish Civil War was fought between the Republicans and the Nationalists in Spain. The cause was political and social tensions between leftist Republicans and right-wing nationalists. The main parties were the Republican government and the nationalist rebels led by General Francisco Franco. The war ended with a nationalist victory, leading to Franco's dictatorship. World War II, 1939 to 1945. World War II was a global conflict involving major world powers. The cause was the aggression and expansion of Nazi Germany, Italy, and Japan. The main parties were the Allies, including the United States, Soviet Union, and the United Kingdom, and the Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan. The war ended with the unconditional surrender of the Axis powers, leading to significant geopolitical changes and the formation of the United Nations.